Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. I am going to do another color video on Chryslers during the muscle car era. And this one is kind of different because it doesn't have all the controversy that this one did in this video. I would suggest watching that after you watch this because it's quite fascinating if you haven't seen this. Now today I'm going to talk about a color that everybody knows, but you really don't know it. It's called Hemi Orange. This color is a question wrapped in a riddle surrounded by an enigma because there really isn't a shade of Hemi Orange. Let me go and explain that. See, because Hemi Orange is synonymous with Mopar performance cars. You know, why did they start using orange? And was a Hemi always orange? And then why did they do the high performance engines in Hemi Orange when they weren't Hemis? Well, to start on this, we have to go back. Not that far back, but back to the 1950s with the original Hemi. Now, this has nothing to do with Hemi Orange, it's just that it's kind of showing. The 1950s Hemis were painted corporate silver. Yes, Chrysler painted their engine silver in the 50s because. But on the Hemis, what they would do is on the valve covers, like the red Ram, they would make it red. The DeSoto, I think, would be like gold. And they would have, you know, some accents to show these engines off compared to the regular V8s, which were the polys at that point, and give them a different look because they were expensive engines. Now, all that was pretty much the same when Chrysler came out with the Golden Commando, and this engine was gold. And then they started adding turquoises and reds. Now in 1962 is when orange appeared, and it appeared on a race engine, the 413 Max Wedge, followed next year by the 426 Max Wedge. Both were very successful drag race engines and were at the beginning of the incredible escalation of horsepower wars. And both these engines got orange paint by the engineers to set them off as race engines. In 1963, when they were working on the 1964 new NASCAR engine, the Hemi, they decided that that engine will also get that same orange treatment because it's a performance engine. And they built that engine to win Daytona 500, which they did. They came in first, second, and third with Hemis, and they did great during the season. And then the other manufacturers went, no, you can't use it because it's not a production engine. So for 1965, there were no Hemis in NASCAR. They did use them in drag racing, and those were also painted that orange, which now they just called Hemi Orange. They had to make a street car engine for the Hemi because they wanted to race in NASCAR and keep on winning. So they made a new Hemi engine. Well, it's not the new engine. It's the same engine, except they made some modifications for the street. They gave it a more streetable intake manifold, the dual plane with double 4 barrels, and they also took the valve cover on the head on the left-hand side and actually has an indentation. That's the difference between a race Hemi and a street Hemi, is an indentation by where the power steering pump is, because they figured power steering would be a great option to have on a 900-pound dressed engine. It would be a good thing. They also didn't want to paint that engine the same color, being it was a street engine, so it got Street Hemi Orange. Wait a minute, it's different? Yes, it has yellow in it. Why? Just to make it a little more poppy underneath a street car's hood, because it had that yellow kind of brings it up to life. You know, this is Street Hemi Orange, this Mopar Performance box. You can see it kind of has a little bit of a yellow hue. I can really see that with the camera. The camera picks it up very well. So now they had the Street Hemi engine with Street Hemi Orange, and you know, they put it in 66, 67. It was just in cars. 67, it came out RTs. Still really wasn't a big movement for them to make, you know, hip cars. 68, that all changes. They come out with the Roadrunner. They come out with the Super B mid-year. The Charger gets a new shape. You know, everything's starting to get R blocks in them, including the A bodies. And to celebrate this, they said we need a color to really push the Hemi image, so they made a body color called Hemi Orange. And then for Plymouth, it was called Tour Red because it's Plymouth. But the thing is, that body color isn't the same as this. No, that body color has red in it, hence Tour Red. It also has a little bit of like a metal flake to it. It's very different. So if you see a Hemi Orange Hemi car, say that fast 5 times, if the engine and the outside of the car match, one of the colors is wrong, because the engine color should be kind of yellowy compared to the ready. Is that even a word? Who cares? Outside of the car, which is orange-ish red. And I have the picture of that Daytona right here. Is unrestored, and you can see it's pretty stark, the differences between the two. Oh, what is that? Oh, but Dennis, well, what about the other performance engines? Weren't they Hemi Orange? Well, thank you, you fictional viewer. I was just going to get to that. See, Chrysler was using red and turquoise on their engines through the 60s. The LA blocks got mainly red. Like the 273 was mainly a red engine. Actually, it was always a red engine. And the original 340s were red. The 318 was red. Until 1969, that all changed. It was almost like the same thing with the colors going on the cars. They decided to do a corporate identity in 1969 for the high performance engines because, well, that kind of made sense. So in 1969, all performance engines went to Hemi Orange, Hemi Street Orange. Before that, the 383 and the 440 hypos were turquoise. They weren't Hemi Orange, they were turquoise. So 67, 66, 67, 68, they were turquoise. The 340, as I said, was red. That became orange. But the non-high performance engines stayed red. Except for the Slant 6 in a pickup truck, which was yellow. But that's a whole different ball of wax. So that color for the engine stayed on through 1971. The exterior color stayed on through 1972. Now, but there was one nod to this, because in 71 they started phasing in corporate blue, which is that light blue, which people confuse for turquoise, and sometimes even confuse for petty blue, but they're all different colors. So I'm going to show you on my car, because my car is a good example. So on my car, I have a 340 in it, and it's a 72, and it's just like a 72 340, and that engine is corporate blue, and that pie pan is Hemi Orange, Street Hemi Orange. They did that with the air cleaners up through 1974 to signify a high performance engine. It got an orange air cleaner, not a black one. So they kind of kept it around a little bit. So there is the kind of bizarre and convoluted story of Hemi Orange, whether it be street or race or body color. And it's really not clear how they came up with orange. I mean, you can comment below. I'd love to hear your comments on this, because I am befuddled on this. I have looked all around the interwebs and have not found an answer, which is strange. Usually it's not that hard to find an answer, especially like this. So it's kind of one of those things. If you know, hey, comment below. If you enjoyed any of this, or if you like this type of stuff, or like it, subscribe, because subscribe to this car channel, you get more car channel stuff. And I actually do a lot of history stuff, hands-on stuff. Like I go to Mopar, I go to other shows, I talk to other people about their cars. It's a whole car thing. I love cars. And the other part is that I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help me get there by subscribing. And it's not like you're going to get spammed or going to cost you money. It's just you're subscribing, and when I do something kind of fun like this, you get to see it firsthand because you get notified with the little thing. As always, I end my videos, as always, if you have a cool old car. Look at that, yeah. Or something fun to drive in. This is fun. Take them out because you'll make someone's day and it'll probably be your own. And I'll talk to you very soon. And then always, was a Hemi always Hemi? Was it always was